Hello, students, and welcome to this module. We're looking at the first module, which is set theory. You're going to be looking at, let me get my notes here. You're going to be looking at sets and Venn diagrams, right, in this module. So what I normally do is I attach, before you start anything, I attach a video through PlayPost so that you can watch the video and kind of understand what you need to click on as you go through the modules. Once we do a couple of these, you'll understand how it works. So this right here is the first thing, the PlayPost, that guides you through this module and tells you what you need to do. So let's talk about it, since this is the first module you're going to be working on in this online class. The first thing here is the objectives. So in each module we have objectives that we want to look at. And our objectives for this module, as a result of working through these activities, you will be able to understand the basic vocabulary and notation of set theory, apply union, intersection, and complement operations on sets, draw Venn diagrams, use Venn diagrams to analyze the results of surveys. So you're going to be drawing some Venn diagrams. You're going to be looking at diagrams already drawn and trying to figure out the union or intersections that fits that shaded in Venn diagram, or that area that's highlighted that you're trying to figure out. And that's part of this first module of this online Math 45 class. What does it say? Activities for the module: complete the introduction module, sets and play posits. I'll let you guys read through that. Let me see if I can go back, if I can get this thing out of my way. It is in my way and it won't allow me to click back. That is not going to help. Can I move that or not? If I put it up here like that, I think I can. There it is. Okay, so the first thing is to look at the objectives. I'd like you to read that over. It's part of what the department wants me to do, is talk about the objectives in each one of the modules. So please read through it. There's not much other than looking at what you're going to be covering. And then the first thing is your reading. This is your math book, right? So when you click on this, it's going to open up the math book. I'll open it up with you, since this is the first module. We're kind of going in detail on it. So this opens up the math book, and you're responsible for reading through this. Make sure you read through this and go through the examples to help you understand what Venn diagrams are and sets are, correct? And this whole thing discusses all that with you. It's got a bunch of examples in here, and it's got the try-its. I would like you to work the try-its out, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be asking you to turn these try-its in. Okay, so work these try-its out, and a little bit further down in this module, if I've stated that you need to turn the try-its in on the reading, please have those done. Okay, so answer these on a piece of paper and upload it to me, and you can just state that they're try-its from the readings from the math book. And there's not that many of them. I think there's like 4 or 5 per each module. You go down here, and there's your Venn diagrams, and you're going to tell me what is the union or intersection or complement that fills in this shaded region of the Venn diagram. So here, that's a union, that's an intersection, that's a complement of the intersection. As you read through it, sometimes you got to go back and you got to read a couple of times to let this stuff soak in and understand it. Take the time, find yourself a place to sit down, maybe in the library or at home. I'd always prefer a library where it's nice and quiet, and find a nice couch or seat to sit on. Preferably, I like the couch, or that one, whatever you'd call it, like a chair, not a regular chair, but something I could lay back in and just sit and have nobody around me to bother me while I go through and I work on the material that whatever my instructor was asking me to do. I always like to have some nice quiet place where nobody disturbed me. And it's not quite that long. Maybe the reading will take you, if you let it soak in and you take your time, an hour, maybe hour and a half to let it soak in and try to understand it. Here's try it number 4, and then you actually have the answers down here. I kind of was thinking about deleting that, but I didn't. But I'm looking for you, instead of looking at the answers, to take a shot at the try-its on your own, right, and try to understand it from the readings, because you're going to have to take the end of the module, you'll have a test that you'll have to do, and then later on, after we cover a couple modules, you have another little test that you're going to have to do. So try to answer these triads without coming to the bottom and looking at the answers. Maybe the next class that I teach, I will pull the answers out so that they're not there, but I would like you to take a shot at reading through this stuff and try the triads on your own. That's the best way to do it. And if you have to look at the answers, you have the answers to look at. So that was that section to click on, which is your reading material, correct? Reading material and sets. I might change some of the names on these as I go through. I'm still designing my my online class. It's the first time I've done an online Math 45 class. Normally my main class is statistics that I teach. So I'm getting used to doing this online stuff, and I'm still a little rusty at doing online classes. After you do the readings, right, you do your book and you read your book, then you'll have this instructional video here that you'll click on, correct? And these instructional videos are basically YouTube videos, right, that also talk about, Venn diagrams and sets. And it looks like there's quite a few of them here, but they're not super long, they're kind of short. And it's just another way of helping this material sink in so that you understand it. Please watch these because it's going to help you prepare for the test that comes up at the end of the module, okay? Several of them here, but they're kind of short. Not some of them are even shorter than 5 minutes. Click out of that. Let's go back here. So first we started with, you started with clicking on this, which helps guide you through the modules, and some of these will be a little bit shorter than this one, which is the first one. You looked at the objectives and understood what you're going to be doing in this module, and then you opened up the book, right? And so you did your reading and you answered the triad problems in the reading. And then you clicked on the YouTube material, correct? These are instructional videos here. And then you're going to have an activity that you need to do on your own. This is what's called the rough draft, where you do it on your own, and you're going to have to turn the rough draft into me. We talked about that in a previous video. So my suggestion is to print this out so that you could take notes on this, correct? And leave some notation as you're going along on here on stuff that you're having a hard time with, or notes that help you understand the material. But I have to have a rough draft that shows that you attempted to do these problems. Now, you don't have to have all the problems done, right? I mean, this is just an attempt of you to do this on your own, kind of like I'm teaching a class, and you're taking notes off the class problems that I may be doing in the class, right? But I'm asking you to do these after you've read the book, right? And tried to soak up the material, and you watch the YouTube videos beforehand and attempt to do some of these on your own. And that's what I call the rough draft, which you're going to have to upload later in this module. Once you attempted the rough draft, and I would suggest that you're going to have a final draft, right? Once you attempted the rough draft, this is where I clicked on right here for your activity, which we call the rough draft. Once you've attempted the rough draft, you're going to watch these play posits. It's basically like a video of me going through here and doing this activity complete in its entirety. And there's 3 videos because they can only be so long. So all 3 of these videos completes that whole activity. So once I complete the activity, you are going to write on the same PDF that you printed out of this rough draft, correct? Let's pull it up here again. Once you do your rough draft and you do this stuff, and then you watch those YouTube videos of me completing these problems in its entirety, you're going to go back with a different color pen or pencil, right? So let's say you do the rough draft in pencil, right? Then you want to do the final draft where all the problems are filled in after you watch the video with me in a different color pen. So say if you did the first one in a pencil, maybe the next one you do it in a black or blue pen or red pen, so that I could tell the difference between your rough draft and your final draft. So I'm going to need both the rough draft, which is where you attempted to do it before you were able to watch the videos, and then the final draft turned into me. Okay, and I'll go through these in their entirety. And by the way, there might be some of these videos that since it's my first time doing this class, and I'm getting a lot of the material from another instructor who's done the class several times, you might have her on some of the videos. I am trying to record over all these on my own, but I probably won't get them all done. So you might have a couple of videos where somebody else is going over these problems with you. Okay, so you've watched the play post, all these videos, all 3 of these here, play posits, and there's a couple of questions within the play posits that I'm going to ask of you that you need to reply to, and you get points for replying correctly on those play posit videos, right? It stops it as you're going through the video. It'll stop it, ask you. Sometimes I'll put a question there that I want to ask you, and you have to try to get the right answer to that and punch it in. You get points for that. Once you get through those play posits, then you do the final, correct, in a different color from your rough draft, then you can upload it here. And I might be adjusting some of this as I'm going along. I'm adjusting some of these things that I have here. I might adjust this where we have another ratings here. Here I just have 5 points for full mark or 0 points for no mark. So I might put something like 2.5 in there. So it's worth a total of 10 points. And this is what we call talk to the text, right? Talk to the text is your rough draft, right? Talk to the text is like you read it and you talk to it by writing stuff down as you're going through and doing the text. That's what they call talk to the text. And then you do your rough draft, then your final draft is afterwards again. I know I've repeated myself a couple of times, but I want to make sure, my students understand. After that, then you have a thing where you're going to do practice, right? You're going to do some practice on your own here. Okay. And I've stated some stuff up here that you can read about the practice problems. I'm not looking for every one of these problems to be done, right? There's quite a bit of them here that keep you really busy the whole summer. I think I'm looking for just 5 of them to be done, and you can read through here. Right here it says choose at least 5 of them. So that means choose 5 and make sure you show me your work on those 5. And I believe I'll be asking for these a little bit later, and if I do, you'll see where you are supposed to upload it. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm asking for these. So pick 5 of them. You can do all of them if you like and upload it to me. But I'm just looking for 5 to grade you on. I know this is a tough class to take in the summer, and it takes a lot of requirement, as far as your reading and studying and prepping yourself so that you could pass each one of these modules to get a decent grade. So if you could do 5 of these in its entirety, that's good for me at the moment, unless I change this. You need to read the directions to this. If I change it from 5 maybe to 10, then you'll see it here. But I think I'm going to keep it at 5. And then that, after you do that activity, practice activity, video answer keys. This is the video answer keys that is done by the other instructor that's been doing this class for a long time that's created it. So I think that video will probably be by her showing you how to do the problems. And then, let's see, practice sets uploaded. You can upload your practice sets right here. So you open this up again. If you noticed here, this has got different points in here. Full mark, 5 points for it all done. Missing some problems is 3, and then 0 points, no mark. Again, like I said, this is my first time teaching this online class, so I'm adjusting as I'm going along. Just make sure that you're reading, before you upload, and you're reading before you do anything so that you know for sure what you're required, because even though this is a recorded video, some of it might be adjusted, which you'll see in the writing of each one of these pages that you open within the module, what you are exactly expected to do. Okay, so then that is the practice keys, and then the practice sets upload. This is where you upload them. I think I just clicked on that. I did. And then the last thing here is to click on the set assessment. So after each module, there's an assessment that you'll take, right? And then you're not going to get any help on this. This you're going to have to do on your own, and when you finish it, you'll get your points for this part, and then we're going to move on to the second module. But this is the first module, which is called Set Theory, which is sets and Venn diagrams. And if you have any questions or you feel like you're getting stuck on it, please feel free to email me. Okay, and I will be doing announcements up here in our announcements every so often. And I'm hoping to keep this student lounge. I'm having an issue with this designing it. I'm hoping to keep the student lounge open where there's questions and answers that students can answer with each other. But at the moment, that's where you're at. You're going to be starting set theory. So, find a nice quiet spot where you can study and sit down and relax and try to get this stuff to soak in. Make sure you read the book material and watch those YouTube videos, both to help this stuff soak in. And I'm hoping that you don't find this module that difficult. We'll see you soon.